behind you. Can you tell us what that is?
I'm sorry?
Cars are being towed out behind you. Can you tell us what that is?
I have no idea.
Those two ladies, did they?
911 be eligible for the reward?
I don't know. That's not up to me.
Are you saying that reports that say his body was inside the house, but that's been confirmed that those reports are false?
There was a suspect that fled into the forest, barricaded himself inside a cabin, engaged in gunfire with deputy sheriffs, shot 2 of our deputy sheriffs and killed 1, and we believe he is still inside that cabin that caught fire.
But no one has found.
No one has been inside the cabin. It is not safe to go in there.
Cindy, can I ask you about the deputies that were injured and the one that was killed? Did you personally know them?
Yes. I'm not talking about them.
But it must be painful for the entire office.
Absolutely. It's painful for every person associated with the law enforcement family across Southern California. They've been working together closely on this search for the last 6 days.
Even though no one's inside the house, have you confirmed there's a body inside the house?
Have you been here listening to what I've been saying?
Yeah, I'm getting conflicting information. So
there is no conflicting information. They have not been inside the cabin. It is not safe to do that.
Right. But there are other
They believe there is a body in there. They have not yet been inside. It's not safe.
But are there
Yes,
other
sir.
The people who were allegedly held hostage, were they taken hostage?
I don't know anything about hostages. My information is that the victims of the car theft were not injured.
Cindy, was the building, the cabin being demolished in some way when this fire began?
I'm not aware. I only know that there was a fire there. That's the only information that I have.
Any idea what type of weapons or munitions?
No, I don't have any information on that. Sorry.
And that was a vacant cabin.
It was described to me as a rental, and there was no one there.
Cindy, just to get the microphone, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Can you just reiterate again the rundown? But you believe there's a person in there, and you believe it could be possibly Dorner.
Right. We believe, correct. We believe that that the person that barricaded himself inside the cabin and engaged in gunfire with our deputies and other law enforcement officers is still inside there even though the building burned. Yes.
And do you have any more information about the Forest Service officer who was apparently shot at the first encounter?
I don't. Thank you very much. We'll put out some information. If we have a press conference tomorrow, we'll get that information out to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Okay, so you just heard from Cindy Bachman, the spokesperson for the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, saying that they believe that the person who engaged in gunfire with their deputies, killing one of their deputies earlier today from the location of that cabin, they believe that person's body is still inside the cabin. They believe that person is dead, but their body is inside the cabin that has burned down, but it is too hot to enter, and they have not actually physically removed a body from the cabin as had been reported earlier. We still have multiple sources who say they believe it was Christopher Dorner who was inside there. Let's go to our Miguel Marquez, who was standing by listening to that press conference. Obviously confusing, conflicting information. Miguel, try to explain to our viewers what we know, what we don't know, and what is believed from other sources you're hearing from.
Yeah, I think why it's a little conflicting and confusing right now is San Bernardino Sheriff's Office wants to make sure 100%, 110% that it is, in fact, Christopher Dorner in that cabin. It's a very sensitive time. They've lost one of their own. Another one is probably coming out of surgery now, or perhaps is still in surgery. It's been a very tough week for law enforcement community across the entire Southern California. A lot of people have been looking for this guy. There's a lot of excitement to get that news out that they do, in fact, have him. But, you know, I have it from federal officials. Tom Fuentes has it from federal officials who spoke to LAPD officials that it is, in fact, Christopher Dorner. That house. His cell phone, this is something I learned earlier in the day. I didn't think much of it at the time, but you know, his cell phone popped on at one point after he engaged the wardens, the fish and game wardens, and it is possible that somebody was able to get in contact with him and actually confirm, at least by voice, that it was in fact him. The other glaring, huge piece of information we have here is this was a giant roadblock just a couple of hours, and now every single member of law enforcement has left. They clearly do not believe that Mr. Dorner presents any threat to this area anymore. Just an unbelievably horrible, tragic day that has unfolded here after he reared his ugly head again, killed a sheriff's deputy, and wounded another one. Anderson?
All right, that seems to clear it up. It seems to be they just want to make extra careful that they have all their I's dotted and their T's crossed before, in fact, confirming that it is the body of the man they've been looking for, Christopher Dorner. We're going to have our continuing coverage in about 13 minutes from now. We'll have a live edition of 360 all the way through to the 1 a.m. hour. Let's go back to Wolf Blitzer right now. Wolf.